In this video, we're going to be taking a look at a really quick, easy project here that was posted on the Bling Craftology Facebook page. And what the person was looking to do was to have a design similar to this, where you just had the laces and this kind of outline of the baseball. And it's actually really a simple basic design, but I thought would be a great demonstration to show you how simple it is to create this just using bits and pieces of random stuff we find laying about because we have CorelDRAW, of course. It's all kinds of things we can do with CorelDRAW very, very quick and easy. So let's out to the website here and let's just type in baseball clip art. And what we're looking for, we'll go over here to Google Images. What we're looking for is something kind of like what we want. And sometimes we'll find something that is going to work perfect. And sometimes we'll find something that's just close enough to get the job done. So let me just take a quick gander here and see if anything strikes my fancy. What I'm really looking for is a um, preferably a black and white image. It wouldn't have to be a black and white image, but preferably. So let's just kind of scale through here. Let me look at something here. Um, Tell you what, I want to look at this image right here. This could work. You can kind of see the laces are similar. Let's keep looking here and see if there's something else that might fit the bill. Let's go with this one right here. I think I actually like this one pretty well. I think we can make this work. So here's what we want to do. We want to just right click on the image and choose copy. And then we're going to hop back over here to CorelDRAW and right click and choose paste. And now we don't actually see anything because it actually pastes it right on top of our document, where this is way off here in cyberspace. So what we're going to do now is we're going to convert this to vector. If we go to wireframe mode, it's just a bitmap. We need cuttable lines for a vector. So then what I would do is come in here, go to the trace bitmap option, outline trace, and we're going to choose a low quality image. Now it's asking us to reduce the bitmap, so we always, whenever you see that, just go ahead and hit reduce, and it'll bring up this window here. And it will show us the result once it's finished. And either we like the result or we don't like the result. And I'm just looking here. Um, and I think the result that we got is going to be just fine. So we'll go ahead and go with that. Maybe increase our smoothing just a touch. See if that makes any difference or not. And let's see here. Well, maybe we'll bump up our corner smoothness just a little bit too. And I think that is going to be reasonably okay. So we'll go ahead and select OK. And I'll give it a moment and it'll bring in our vector version of this design. We'll just pull it over here. And we really can't see this design for all it is until we go back into wireframe mode. Now you see all this junk. So we're just going to start clicking and hitting the delete key. Oops. But first we better ungroup. So we right click and choose ungroup. Then we can click on the parts we know we don't want and hit delete, 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 and just keep going and deleting like any little bit. Get rid of that, that, and that. Let's see here. There's a piece inside. We can get rid of that right here. Just double click to get rid of those nodes because we don't need that. All right, that looks good down there. Now up here, there's a piece that we don't need. This piece we don't need. This piece we don't need. This piece we don't need. So what we're left with here, you can see these are the cut lines that our cutter is going to cut. Okay. Now we asked for corners to be rounded, and we also did quite a bit of smoothing because it will make for a better cut. And this I think is pretty cuttable. I think I would be pretty happy with this. You can see this here. I would probably just bring this out to here. And you can go through and tweak it and modify it a little bit, but let's go back to enhance mode. But you can kind of see it is more or less pretty similar to this design. See, if we just took this and we just click on it and rotate it, like something like that, you can see it's kind of sort of similar, right? And I think it's close enough, at least for me it is, um, for what we want. So what might be helpful, however, is because we're going to cut this out of glitter, we might want to make these areas right in through here just a little bit thicker. And so what I think I'm going to do is just select this first one here, combine it together, and just add a teensy tiny bit of contour. It won't be much, but just a little bit of contour to the outside I think would be helpful here. Now, when you're doing a complicated contour like this, sometimes it's difficult to get the result that we want. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 0.2 of a millimeter to the outside. Okay? And we can't really see much has happened. Let's go into wireframe mode. See that extra little bit of contour? So now I know, well, I want to do a little bit more than 0.2 of a millimeter. So I'll just come back in here. Actually, it might be helpful to go to our object manager and click on that contour group, and then let's give it 0.5 of a millimeter. Try that. That's quite, well, tell you what, let's just do 2 millimeters. Try that. Does that give us our thickness that we want? Oh, that might have been a little extreme. Let's go back to 1.5 millimeters. Whatever you want to do, it's really up to you. Let's go back to enhance mode. And now you can see that those are just a little bit more enhanced compared to these. All right, so what we're going to do is just go ahead and right click and break that contour group apart, and then we'll delete the original one. And now we have this thickened version, if you will. So we'll go ahead and make it red just so you can see it. And now we'll do the same thing over here. So we're going to go back to our contour tool. Actually, we're going to combine that together first. Go back to our contour tool, and then we're going to type in 1.5 mm to specify millimeters, and then click on this button, which is the outside contour. And then what we can do is we can right click over here if we want to and choose break contour group apart, and then we can zoom in and delete this piece right here. Okay, and we'll go ahead and make that red too. So now you can kind of see we just thicken that up and it looks a little bit better. And this point here is kind of weird, so maybe we'll just do something like that just to change it up a bit. And we can add a note on either side by just double clicking, and then I can right click on this and change that to a curve, and so we could have a rounded point there instead if we want to. Okay, so again, you can go back through there and modify and tweak and add to, but I just really want to give you a basic idea of how to, fairly quickly create this design. Now we're just going to create a circle, and then we're just going to kind of move things about here. So now you kind of have that circle the way we need it. Maybe make it a little bit bigger here to fit in that lace. And then all they did here to kind of get this moon shape, basically all you're going to do is make a duplicate circle, make it bigger, something, and again, you can play with it exactly how you want it to be, but that's essentially what's done there. So then all we're going to do is take both of our circles and trim. And we'll delete our one circle. And so now you can kind of see we have basically this design. We have our laces that we can go ahead and select them both, and we'll go into our glitter fill here and we'll fill those with red. We'll take our outside circle, we'll fill that with silver, and then all we're going to do is right click to get rid of our outline, and let's go ahead and throw a weed box around, and you can see we have a pretty cool looking design that is actually going to cut out really well for you. So if you want to create something similar to what you're seeing there, that's one way of going about it, and it's really easy to do. Once you have the CorelDRAW skills. Now we could go ahead and resize this to the proper size. So this is huge right now, 30 inches. So we want, probably 9 inches is more practical. And we'll go ahead and add another weed box around it now that we have it set to the proper size. And let's go ahead and reset our glitter fill here. And maybe we want to use maybe a different color too. I don't know. You could do whatever you want to. So just have fun experimenting with that process, and you'll be amazed at how quickly you can create something um, that you see or a version of it um, fairly easily with just a few basic tools here in CorelDRAW. Thanks for watching.